Welcome to It's Giving Sus, the podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. Every episode, we dive deep into the world of true crime and scandals, bringing you the most suspicious and jaw-dropping stories from around the world. There's so much crazy stuff going on, and we need to talk about all of it. Bizarre happenings, scams, cults, crimes, or controversial figures, we're here to dissect it all. Nothing is off limits. Join us as we unpack and comprehend this episode's story. And remember, if it's giving sus, stay curious and stay skeptical.
Warning. This episode contains discussion of extremely sensitive topics. Please check the show notes for more details before proceeding. We ask that you please take caution when listening. If you or someone you know is in need of resources, please check the episode notes for more information. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Giving Sus, the podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. You know, on this podcast, I was running it back. We talk about scams, cults, crimes, and controversial figures. In this episode, we have one.
Yes.
Two, I guess. A whole family, really, of suspects. And I'm excited for a little switch up. You know, this story is filled with the trauma, the drama, the death. It is filled with all of it. But sometimes these topics do be a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
So, first question I have to ask you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm Danny Era, your host, with my
Meg.
co-host Meg West.
Yes.
We're
We
here.
forgot to introduce ourselves.
Our 5 fans know us by now, so it's fine. Yeah. But the first question I have to ask you: were you an NSYNC girl or a Backstreet Boys girl?
Okay. So, I bumped the mic. Okay. So I was both. Crazy enough, though, my first concert was Backstreet Boys.
All right.
And I remember my dad telling me this story. Like, I kind of remember it, but not really. But he's like, I only took you because there was a bunch of hot MILFs with their kids. I was like, okay. All right, Dad.
Okay. And
All right, Dad.
Also,
So that's why that sticks out.
shout out to your dad. He just followed us last week.
Yep. Hi, Dad.
Yeah. So shout out, Dad. Don't watch like the last. Just from here forward.
Yeah.
It's good for you. But I did see him pop up.
Yeah.
We love support after 6 months.
Yes. It's so good.
Yeah. It's great.
But yeah, that was my first concert. Was Backstreet Boys.
Okay. So
I was like a both.
yeah, you were both. I was definitely NSYNC girly.
Yeah.
I like the Backstreet Boys. I listened to them. I had the CDs, but I was very much in the NSYNC. I had a big fat crush on Joey.
Oh my God. Joey. Did you ever get the bobbleheads? Remember when they came out with the NSYNC limited edition bobbleheads? I still fucking have them, Danny.
I don't.
They're literal figurines of all the NSYNC members, and they come in these like cool collectible boxes,
Like
like the Bye Bye
Funkos.
Bye video.
Like the puppet.
Yes. And it's like a
Oh.
bobblehead version.
No, I
And I have
don't.
them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Might be worth money.
Yeah,
Might
who
be your
knows?
inheritance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was an NSYNC girly, but I feel like I was also, we're the same age, but I feel like maybe we were too young to like know kind of the drama of everything in the boy band space. Like around that time, like I didn't really know much about the inner workings and the scandals that have gone along the years.
Yeah.
I also didn't know Nick Carter was still touring,
Crazy.
and their fan base is insane.
They interviewed like one of the fans in this documentary, and she was like, there is no fucking way that Nick Carter did, like, these women need to, I was like, whoa, you need to calm down, girl. You're a fucking fan. You don't know these people personally, and you don't know, you need to relax.
And to say he doesn't have it in him to do something like that.
Bitch, you don't know it. Delusion. I want to I want to live in that much delusion.
It sounds nice.
It does sound nice to think Nick Carter's my friend. And we're just buddy, and I just know he wouldn't. I know he wouldn't do something like that.
So I have a confession.
Okay.
I've partied with Nick Carter.
Stop it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I was checking dates and such earlier because I can't tell you where, or I can, just all y'all can't. I can't say a lot, but I have and I was not 18. I was not with him, but there was a party, and I was there.
And you weren't of age yet?
No.
Yeah.
But I was with my boyfriend and a group of friends, and like nothing happened. But I'm not saying that. But I've partied with Nick Carter.
Okay. Did you talk to him at least?
Well, it was also the first time I ever tried. And
you go out to him, I love you.
No, and he was there before I took it. So I know I know it's real, okay, guys? But this was during the summer, and it was a pool party situation, and I've told you this story before. And I took it's something. I don't know. I was the only one who took it. It was the middle of the day, and I did see snow from the sky coming down, and I said, we should probably go. So that was the extent of that. But he was definitely there. He was definitely in, like, it was a known thing. I can't say too much, but yes, it's very true. I was very much an Aaron Carter girl over a Nick Carter girl too. So I remember this thought of like when I met him and he was like hanging out and everything, that I was like, he's just like the like preppy knockoff of his brother.
Yep.
Even though he's older, but that's just like how I viewed him. You know, he was the very clean cut, very like got it together, no bad image, like that kind of guy. And I was like, I like Aaron, you know.
Yeah. Which is weird because I think the women in like our age group are more of like Nick Carter fans because he was essentially like he more was of our generation of like Aaron Carter got bigger a few years later. I feel like
he was our age more.
Yeah, and I feel like Aaron got bigger when we kind of started coming out of that like boy band era.
Maybe, yeah.
So I did like Aaron Carter. Like Aaron's Party, fuck me up with that song. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Or like Candy?
Yeah.
Fuck me up.
Iconic.
But I think I just started getting a little too old, and I think he was more geared toward younger. Kids.
Right. But he is still older than us.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So and Nick's older than him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Nick's 44 now.
That is so weird to me. Like I just feel like they're like the same age forever. Like I'm like 44. Like that's so crazy.
I know.
To see everyone like grown up, but I guess we all get older.
Yes, we all get there some point.
Yeah. So that is my fun fact. I'll put it on my resume and like my bio, you know, I'll claim it. Or maybe I won't.
Maybe not anymore.
Not now that we know things. Now that we're older, now that people have talked about things, and we have a documentary presented to us called Fallen Idols on HBO Max. We spent the last week doing our homework, watching this, taking notes, and now we're here to dissect it and give our feedback on what we learned.
Yeah.
I was thinking while we were watching it, I was like, we have the coolest homework ever. Like, this is the best homework ever.
I love it.
I know. So this documentary is a 4-part series, and I was really struggling with, like, how are we going to present this? Because there's a lot of freaking information. There's a lot of different stories and timelines and people and places, and it's a lot. So I thought the easiest way that we could go through all of this information. Why are you smiling at me?
I don't know.
I was just like, what did I do? Okay.
I don't know. That was weird.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's just happy to be here. She's happy to be here. I thought that the best way to go through all the information would be an iceberg chart. So what an iceberg chart is, for those who are listening who maybe aren't familiar, for those who are watching, I'm going to put it up on the screen. But for our listeners, imagine an iceberg. Imagine the Titanic, the thing that took out the Titanic, okay? You can only see the part above the water. And then it goes deeper, 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 deeper. So with an iceberg chart, we start at level 1, which is the surface level. Everybody kind of knows what's going on. And then you go to level 2, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper toward the more unknown. Me being the Nick Carter professional that I am, you're welcome that I'm here so I can provide insight.
I love this.
And yeah, I think with that, we can start diving into our iceberg.
Okay.
Hop on into the iceberg.
Hop into the Titanic.
Yes, exactly. All aboard. So layer 1 of the iceberg, we have 3 categories. We have the Carter family tree, we have their fame, and we have the drama in the Carter family.
This family makes my family drama look like cakewalk, dude. Craziness.
Shout out dad again.
Again.
Me, no comment.
But no, seriously, this shit is crazy.
Carter family tree. So we have the top of the tree, Bob Carter. He was the patriarch of the family, born in 1952. He's a businessman and also a musician.
And also a giant piece of shit.
That part. Bob Carter married Jane, and together they had 4 children.
A total twat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Jane Elizabeth Carter, the matriarch of the family, played a significant role in managing her children's early careers, and she was also involved in the music industry herself. Starting with the oldest, Nick Carter. He was born in 1980. He rose to fame as a member of the boy band called the Backstreet Boys. The group became one of the best-selling boy bands in all of history. He also has pursued solo music and some acting. The next sibling is
Acting. Oh boy. That's a very loose term for him.
Honestly, he's kind of a good actor.
Yeah.
Fighting off all these allegations.
Yes.
Those acting lessons came into play.
He deserves an Oscar, honestly.
10 out of 10. Leslie Carter was born in 1986, was also a singer. She pursued a music career and released a single titled Like Wow for the soundtrack of the animated film Shrek. Fun fact.
God.
I know.
Like, wow.
In 2001, she released that. That's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Love Shrek.
We do love Shrek.
Sadly, Leslie passed away in 2012 due to an overdose. Next, we have Aaron. Aaron was born in 1987. He achieved fame as a pop and hip-hop artist in the late 90s and early 2000s. He gained popularity with his hits like Aaron's Party, Come and Get It, and I Want Candy. Aaron later faced legal and personal troubles, resulting in his life ending at 34 years old due to an accidental overdose as well. So Angel is the last of the 4. Angel Charisma Carter, born in 1987. She is the fraternal twin of Aaron Carter. While she hasn't achieved the same level of fame as her brothers, she has also pursued music and appeared in some reality TV shows.
That's such a cool name. Angel Charisma? I love that, actually.
So part 2, layer 1, how they found fame and a little bit of family history on the Carters. So both Nick and Aaron were born in Jamestown, New York. They spent a lot of their early years in Warren, Pennsylvania. Their parents owned a bar called the Yankee Rebel in Jamestown and later ran a retirement home in Ruskin, Florida.
Oh.
After they moved.
Oh, that's nice.
Right. And there's a connection between Pennsylvania so that I really wanted to know like how that tied in, because we're getting interviews from the cousin who grew up with them, who was really close to them. And then Angel has a friend from Pennsylvania, and we get into that in a little bit.
And the family friend, Jen, that they were interviewing.
She was from there too?
Yeah, she was
Got
on that.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would hang out with Ashley and Angel.
Got it. Okay, so she was tied in that way. So there's a lot of ties with some of these victims that are from their childhood. Yeah. So Nick Carter showed an interest in music and performed from a young age. His mother recognized his talent early on and supported his aspirations. Of course she did.
Of course she did. You gotta support the cash fucking cow.
Right. So she would take him to auditions, dance lessons, talent shows, local castings, and show off his abilities in front of different audiences. Nick participated in several of these talent shows and auditions around Tampa Bay. His natural charisma and vocal talent caught the attention of many local producers and agents. As a child, Nick also landed some small acting roles in commercials and even had a minor role in a 1990 film, Edward Scissorhands.
No way.
Yeah.
Who is he in that? The one kid in the family?
I would guess. I mean, I don't think he would have to be a kid. He's doing his thing.
Okay.
All right, go off, Nick Carter. So meeting Lou Pearlman is the foundation of his superstardom, right? This is the pivotal moment in Nick Carter's career when he went and auditioned for Lou. Lou is a businessman who was working on forming a new boy band. Pearlman had already seen success with his first group, New Kids on the Block, and was looking to replicate that success with a new group. Nick was selected to join the group. The group then became the Backstreet Boys. The self-titled debut album was released in 1997, featuring the hit singles Quit Playing Games with My Heart and As Long As You Love Me. Their success skyrocketed, making them one of the best-selling boy bands of all time.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
Lou's got his own episode, guys.
Yeah,
I cannot even get into Lou.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we'll talk about him a little bit because it kind of comes up in Nick's story.
It does. But
this dude's a giant piece of shit.
Just put a pin in Lou, Perlman, everyone. Just hold
Dan
tight.
Schneider times 100.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
He's the singing version of the acting Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
Aaron became famous through a combination of early exposure to the music industry, his own talent, and the influence of his older brother Nick, who was already a member of the Backstreet Boys. Aaron showed an interest in music and performance early on, just as Nick did, and he began performing at a very young age. His first major public performance was when he opened up for the Backstreet Boys at one of their concerts. At 9 years old, Aaron signed his first recording contract. His first single, Crush on You, cover of a song by the Jets, was released in 1997. The single was well received in Europe, especially in countries like Germany, which helped him gain the initial fame. Aaron capitalized, well, more like Jane, but because he's 9. You're not capitalizing on much at 9
years old.
Jane.
Yeah, he just wants like a blow pop, dude.
Like, he just wants to do what his brother's doing. He likes to sing and perform and entertain.
He's a literal
child. He
child.
doesn't want to capitalize.
He's a literal fucking child.
Aaron/Jane capitalized on his early success by touring extensively. He opened for the Backstreet Boys, which gave him significant exposure. His performances were energetic and appealed to the young audiences, further boosting his popularity. Aaron's early rise to fame was characterized by his catchy pop songs, vibrant performances, and media-savvy appearances that endeared him to a younger audience. Despite facing various personal and professional challenges later in life, his impact as a pop star in the 90s and 2000s remains a significant part of his legacy.
He sold 1 million albums by the time he was 10 years old.
Insane.
Crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. And Aaron's party ended up going like triple platinum.
Right.
10 years old.
Right.
What was I doing at 10? I was playing with my Barbies in the basement, dog.
Yeah.
Like what? I can't even imagine like knowing what fame is now and like knowing how crazy it is now. And like they have a lot more rules and regulations with children now. And same with like paparazzi and stuff. Like paparazzi can't do certain things because of like the whole Britney shit and all that. So like imagine being a 10-year-old kid and having all the unregulated paparazzi shit, all the unregulated child laws for
work.
Like crazy.
Yeah. And with this timeline, the Backstreet Boys' first album was 1997 and Aaron's was 1997. And they even went over this in the documentary. They're like, you thought Nick started young? Aaron was 9. Single digit. 9.
Yeah.
It's insane. The Carter family's personal struggles were frequently covered by tabloids, often in a sensationalized manner. This constant media scrutiny exacerbated their challenges and affected their public image. Bankruptcy and legal disputes were both prevalent throughout this family's history. Nick and Aaron Carter faced financial difficulties at various points. Aaron filed for bankruptcy in 2013, citing over $3.5 million in debt. Hey, suspects, sorry for the interruption. I'm here to let you know that the rest of the audio in this video is absolutely trash. I apologize. We will be back next week with much better quality. Thanks for listening either way. These financial troubles were also having a lot to do with mismanagement and legal disputes. Addiction and rehab. Several members of the Carter family struggled with substance abuse. Nick had been open about his battles with addiction, and Aaron has faced similar issues, including multiple stints in rehab.
Well, Nick got a DUI too.
He did. And I think that was one of the main reasons he like sought treatment, right?
Yep. And that's, he sought treatment and then met his wife and then,
got his life together. Got that clean boy image.
Gotta maintain that.
Right. Mental health. Aaron publicly discussed his mental health, including diagnoses of multiple mental health conditions. He also presented erratic behavior, and his legal issues often made the headlines, highlighting his personal struggles. There was also public feuds within the Carter family. They had numerous disputes and estrangements. The reality TV show, House of Carters.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. showcase some of these conflicts, including intense arguments and emotional confrontations. There's been a few restraining orders that have been filed throughout the years. In 2019, Nick and Angel obtained restraining orders against Aaron, citing threatening behavior. This legal action underscored the severity of the family's internal conflicts. And some career struggles with Nick. While the Backstreet Boys continue to have a loyal fan base and occasional success, Nick's solo career never quite reached the same heights. He also faced legal issues, including the accusations of sexual assault, which he has denied.
Okay.
So that's the surface. That's like the family history, the rundown, what like the mainstream public knows, and now we go to layer 2, which is kind of getting into the shit, really.
Yeah.
Layer 2, part 1, is the divorce. This is a big pivotal moment in these kids' lives when Bob and Jane decide that they are no longer getting along, they're no longer going to be together. The divorce likely had a significant impact on the entire family dynamic and the upbringing of these children. Next chapter, The House of Carters, which is the reality TV show where we, the public, have finally seen everything on full display, all of the trauma, the drama, the emotions, and a lot of people claim that they were, like most reality TV shows, staged and basically set up for these big blowouts and these confrontations. But what's interesting is that this is the first time that a lot of these family members have been united in a long, long time. And they put them all in a house, they put the cameras on them, and we know reality TV in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So that didn't help any of the family drama.
It really didn't.
Let's see here. Okay. Do you have anything to add to any of the overview of it all?
Maybe just more on the divorce. I feel like I said or like you said, it was a really pivotal point for all of them, and I think it really, like, the parents were like, you need to choose. You need to choose who you're going to be with.
Yeah.
And a lot of them chose their dad. And a lot of them had a lot of hard feelings toward the mother. And rightfully so, I feel like. And, you know, essentially at age 16, Aaron tries to emancipate himself from his mother, just his mother, which is crazy. And saying that, you know, she embezzled all this money. So I think that there's a lot there. And after the divorce too, the dad would start to drink with them, he would start to do drugs with them, and they're on this property where they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And there was no rules for them. Again, it's just that no, like Yorin, like all these other people we've talked about, no rules, no accountability, doing whatever the fuck they want, no consequence, right?
Right.
And so they each even had their own little like house on this property.
Right.
They could do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Right, and even in a tour on like MTV Cribs of the Carter compound, they're like showing off the boats that they have. They're showing off the off-road vehicles, and it's just like the Wild West. And even the cousin back in Pennsylvania was saying that too.
Yeah.
Like it was like lawlessness, like untouchable. You can't, like they could do whatever they want, and that's how their father acted as well.
So I think that had a big impact. Even the one victim, Ashley, who was friends with Angel, like that's where they would go hang out and party, and they would drink, and Nick would give them alcohol, and no fucks.
It's whatever went, you know. And as a parent, how do you punish or reprimand or say anything
when you're doing it?
When you're doing it, one,
with them,
but when they're paying the bills.
And those parents put all the financial responsibility on Nick and Aaron.
Exactly, and that is a huge downfall.
Another
of the downfall of this whole dynamic here. Like the documentary even says like Bob and Jane treated these kids like business. It wasn't mom and dad.
It was their business managers.
Business, exactly.
Yeah,
and
like Britney Spears did.
Right.
Like her parents.
Right.
Business, money. You're my money maker.
Right.
You're not my fucking child.
Right.
you were giving me this awesome life.
Right.
Step it up, keep going.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right. Right. And one of the friends that was interviewed in the documentary talked about for how many people were in the Carter household, those kids always felt extremely alone.
Mm-hmm. I remember her saying that, yeah.
That is just heartbreaking.
Especially Aaron. I think it really hit Aaron, well, obviously the hardest. But
Right. And another point that was brought up, and we will get into, is actually we'll just save it because it's in here for this. So yeah, I mean it all of these things are pretty much the like tornado or like the calm chaos before the storm kind of thing that really just spiraled into the chaos.
But during all this, Nick was already sexually assaulting women.
Exactly. And behind the scenes, layer number 3 of our iceberg that we learn in this documentary, we have victims who have already come forward years ago, who had never gotten justice, who had never been taken seriously, who had never had someone take the investigation to the next level and really looked into these accusations, and they are finally getting like a second chance to speak about things for the first time.
Yeah.
The first victim that we hear from in the documentary is Melissa Schumann. And what's really interesting about Melissa is that she was in a girl group during the same timeline. And a girl group that was founded by none other than...
Lou.
No? P. Diddy.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh.
The equivalent.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Right.
Woo.
Right.
Forgot about that.
Right. There was a lot of pressure. Melissa talks about there being a lot of pressure to date other pop stars because it's good for publicity. It's like 2 birds, 1 stone. It's just a huge thing, and management will really try and push that. Her first encounter with Nick Carter was her manager saying, "You should give Nick Carter a call." And she's 16 at the time. She gives him a call. He's like obviously interested in her. She's like, nothing happens from there. She had a boyfriend, and that was that.
Yeah.
Until the next time that they see each other. Do you have notes on that?
I have a couple notes. For some reason, the first episode I like started halfway, so I don't have like the first half.
Okay, good, because I have the first half and not the second.
Okay, cool. Then
So
we're good. We're fine.
Okay, then I'll just bust through this. Yeah.
I do remember, like, I remember some stuff. I remember her talking, I think the other crazy part was, to me, it was like, she was talking about the amount, like, immense pressure that they would have to, like, lose weight, look a certain way, dress a certain way. These girls were not of age. And look how they were dressing.
And they had
and they had no control over what they were wearing, what their hair looked like, what their makeup. These girls were 16 years old, and they were making them look like they were 23.
Right. And then trying to pin them
sexualize them, the dance moves that they were doing, I can't.
And then trying to hook them up with older guys. Like, come on. These are children. So they try to hook her up with Nick. They do a phone call, whatever, nothing happens. Doesn't go anywhere. She eventually leaves the group, the girl band, and she starts doing acting. This is where she comes into contact with Nick Carter once again. She was working on a movie with him, and on their off day, Nick invites her to go over to his place and play video games. She's 18 at the time. Nick is in his early 20s. She asks if she can bring her friend Rachel. He says, of course, no problem. They get picked up by Nick and his friend Tony in a car. They go to the liquor store and they get alcohol. They get into the apartment and Nick makes drinks and invites Melissa to come and listen to his new music into the office.
Fuck Tony, by the way. Piece of shit.
Tony's on my list.
Tony's on my fucking list.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll know why later, but he's...
Put a pin in Tony.
He's a fucking bitch.
He's up there with Lou.
Yeah.
Like, he's there.
He's a bitch.
So Nick goes and takes Melissa into the office and is going to show her new music. They're having a drink. She's never been drunk before, but she's just, the peer pressure of it and whatever. Like, she's 18, whatever. He eventually, signals to her, come here, come sit on my lap and come look at the music. And that's how the whole situation starts. So he says, come on over, sit on my lap, I'm gonna show you the music. And proceeds to kissing her, takes her into the bathroom, and begins to SA her, despite her saying no and fighting him off. He forces her to perform acts on him. She was scared that if she didn't, he would have gotten really violent. This proceeds to the bedroom. She pleads that she doesn't want to have sex. She is saving her virginity for marriage.
His response.
It's crazy.
It's
and
cringy.
Melissa also talked about like the outfits and the sexualization of them in this group so young, and how people wouldn't take her seriously as a Christian because she was put into these positions of like
a Christian would do that.
The dancing, the outfits, the makeup, we get it, right? But she really was, and she really valued keeping her virginity until marriage.
Yeah.
He essays her in the worst way possible. She's not enjoying it. Or, I'm sorry, no, that's not what happened. Obviously, she's not enjoying it. He essays her to the fullest extent, the R word, and Nick stops and is like, "You're not enjoying this, are you?" And she says no, and then he got off of her. If that wasn't bad enough.
Well, do you remember what he said during? Because it comes up later. Because one of the girls reads her blog post and is like, he says something to her, and he's like, he said that same thing to me.
What?
So, well, first when she's like, I'm saving myself for marriage, he replies, "I could be your husband." First of all, that's fucking disgusting.
Right.
No, shut the fuck up. And then during the act, she was like, she was confused, like she was scared, she didn't really know what was happening, and like I'm sure she probably was disassociating. And when he first starts to initiate R-ing her, she's like, "What are you doing to me?" And he goes, "It's all me, baby."
Oh God. And
it's all me, baby.
And he said that to the other victims as well. Ew.
One of the other ones, yeah.
Ew. Yeah, because she was like, "What is
she's
like
yeah,
what's in me?
What's in me? Yeah.
Ugh.
It's all me, baby." If I heard that, oh my God, I don't know. I would chop his dick off.
Yeah.
No more. There's no all you anymore, buddy.
Yeah. Bye. Oh, that's insane. Fuck.
Hey, they were competitors. That really sting. Bye, and just chop off his dick.
Oh God, the violence is honestly warranted.
I know.
So if that wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, all of that.
If all of that wasn't bad enough, she gets a text from Nick the next day and says, "Why did you make me do that?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Disgusting.
Why did you make me do that? And like, she didn't even, with the other part of this other note that I have is like crazy. Like, after it happened, she told her friend's mom, and she didn't even realize that she was R-word. Her friend's mom goes, "Honey, like, you were R-word."
Yeah.
Like, and then that's when she went to the police. It was actually like her friend's mom that was essentially like,
right,
you should do something.
Right.
So Melissa does also confide in her manager, and they decide not to do anything because of this point in her career and finances. In quotes, Nick has the best litigation team in the entire world.
And he actually does, to credit. He's
like bending them off like a knight, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they are dodging these allegations.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
It's impressive, truly. He does have the best litigation team in the world. Or worse, however you want to look at it, really. Like, it's either or. So she blocks him. Melissa blocks Nick and is able to stay away from him for a year and a half. She signs to new management, a gentleman named Kenneth Pryor, who turns out to be family friends with Nick. They bring up the idea of Melissa working on this song with Nick. She doesn't have to see him because it's already recorded. She just goes in and does her part, and it's going to be fine. This is good for her career. Nick is the hottest thing ever in entertainment. Like, she goes through this kind of making a deal with the devil, and she decides to go forward with it. And I can understand why. I really can.
I mean, we've said it before. It's like the kids on Quiet on Set. I understand.
Yeah. You're trying to make it. You're in this situation. You
doing what you love and want to do.
Especially when your manager is saying, like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. You don't even have to see him. Like, blah, 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 blah. Nick is also currently dating Paris Hilton very publicly. So Melissa states that He wouldn't mess with her. He wouldn't do that, right? He's dating Paris Hilton. Why would he mess with Melissa? So I have a note here to ask, like, why do we think out of all of the artists, Nick Carter can have anyone he wants to do this duet with? Why pick Melissa?
Control. Sick, disgusting, psycho, sociopath, narcissist. What? You want me to keep going?
No.
Fuck.
You got it. 10 out of 10.
Dude, crazy. Manipulation at its finest, dog. You thought you were going to forget me? You thought you were going to forget? Oh, baby girl. I'm not going to let you forget.
And he uses this leverage of she's lying. These allegations aren't true. We did a song together after these dates. So why would anyone believe you? Clearly she's lying. Disgusting.
So after they record this song and everything, she does a showcase at Sony. She wants to try to become an artist, like a solo artist. She wants to continue to try to do what she wants to do and follow her career and follow her dreams, whatever, you know, all that bullshit. So she's at Sony and she's at the showcase, and guess who just shows up?
Well, she has to sing her duet with her partner.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah. But she was told he wasn't going to be there.
I know.
So he just shows up and she's forced to just sing this song with him in front of all these people.
Right.
And then afterwards, they go, actually, you know what? We don't like you. We don't think you're good enough. We just want Nick.
Yeah, you were lacking vocally.
So, yeah, they said some bullshit. Excuse me?
So they do all this, get her a song, the new manager, the whole thing with Sony, and then, oh, no, actually, you're out. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
But they still are able to use that as leverage over Melissa's head in the future if she did bring these allegations forward, which she does, and which they did.
Yeah.
Those sneaky little bucks.
I know. And then after this happens is when him and Paris break up. And then Paris comes out and she even says that, hold on, let me see. There are rumors that go out and, like, you know, there's stories in tabloids that he was violent with her.
And she has pictures with black eyes and bruises. And she doesn't really speak on it. And it kind of goes under the rug. But everyone can kind of put two and two together that this is happening from her partner, Nick Carter. We next hear from Kaya Jones, who is the next girlfriend after Paris. And she is from the Pussycat Dolls.
Well, so before this happens, Melissa posts her blog. And that's kind of the cascade of everything. Because Kaya sees her blog.
Yes.
So Melissa posts a blog about everything. So after the Sony thing and after all that happens, she posts a blog and tells her story. And by the way, let's give some credit to her dad, the hacker. He's like, I work in technology. And he goes and finds the fucking just all this shit. And I'm just like, what a badass,
yes,
bro.
Because Melissa finally comes clean in the public with the exact story that we just told you, all of the details, and the super psycho mega fan army of the Backstreet Boys go ludicrous mode. They are outside of the house. They are publishing all these articles. They are working with TMZ. They are doing the most to shit on her, to victim blame her, say she's looking for clout, she's looking for money, she's doing all of this, whatever, but Nick didn't do any of this. She's a crazy bitch.
And the hashtag I stand with Nick becomes popular at this point in time. And then that crazy bitch YouTuber makes her first video before Kaya comes out too. Melissa Go Lightly or whatever her fucking dumbass
Molly Go Lightly.
Fucking stupid ass bitch. This woman has 90,000 subs. She gets her whole fucking crazy Backstreet Boy sucking dick fan base to go against Melissa.
No, she was like directly involved with like some sort of press or TMZ, or she even said like, because she like hooked up with Nick. So she was like, I know Nick Carter more than any of you would ever know him. Da, 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 da. And she's just online, just like bashing the shit out of Melissa. Like, oh, poor me, I'm a victim.
Like mocking her and stuff.
The actual scum of the earth is Molly Go Lightly.
And she's the one I think that actually leaked the address. And then I think
and she comes back into play with Aaron later down the road.
Yep.
She's up there. It's Lou, it's Tony, and
her.
Molly.
Yeah,
like, good fucking
they
bye.
hold hands and jump off a cliff.
Take a submersible to the Titanic.
With your Atari joystick. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, disgusting.
Yeah. Melissa starts getting death threats, and then she even starts thinking about unaliving herself at this point, too. It's really fucking sad. Meanwhile, Nick's on Dancing with the Stars, and he's just, he's just living it up. His career's starting to go. He's out of that Backstreet Boys kind of fame, and he's kind of still riding that high. He's doing all these little side projects, and yeah, raking it in, bud.
Just being the superstar that he is. Cool guy. Cool guy. Cool guy alert. Kaya Jones enters the chat. Kaya Jones is from the Pussycat Dolls, and she is an ex of Nick's. She sees Melissa's blog. She reaches out to her and says, I want to talk to you. I want to know more because I experienced some horrible things with him as well. And she is really one of the first people that stands up with Melissa. She publicly tweets about it. She says, I stand with her and I have her full support. So even though Kaya was not she wasn't physically abused by Nick, but she was emotionally and sexually manipulated.
And she talks about so she met him in 2004. She was 20, he was 24, and they ended up moving in together pretty quickly from what I remember her saying. And he would get really violent with other things. Like he would have punch holes in the wall, that type of shit. But, that leads to other things most times. We go from breaking stuff to breaking people's faces most times. So,
I mean, if you can punch Paris Hilton out, there's no boundaries. The actual queen of the earth. You have no control there. She talks about a situation where she came home. He had corn on the TV. And it was very explicit. And she's like, turn that off. I don't want to see that. And he keeps putting it on. And he says, I need you to do that for me. And coerces her into performing this act. She doesn't go into a lot of details. Which she shouldn't have to. She said it was the worst experience of her life. She would never do that again. And she never would have volunteered to do whatever it is that they did, and that's just, when you're with a partner, you should be comfortable in saying yes or no to go forward with something, not, I need you to do this and I don't really care how you feel about it. And Kaya really just gives us another inside perspective and a different dynamic of a relationship where they're intimate with Nick. He still has no boundaries or consent with his partners. The next victim that we hear from, and we're on layer 3 of our iceberg, is Ashley. And Ashley had some really, really interesting stories to tell about her encounters with Nick. Ashley is friends with Angel. Best friends from Pennsylvania. That's how they meet. Yeah. They moved down to Florida on the big Carter compound. And Ashley is there. Angel is there. And she keeps calling Ashley, her best friend, back in Pennsylvania, saying, can you come visit? I'm so lonely. I'm so sad. I'm so whatever. The divorce is happening. She just needed her friend. The mom is very hesitant to let Ashley go. She gets on the phone with Bob Carter, who reassures her they will be completely chaperoned and supervised. I will be there all the time. Nothing for you to worry about.
And she's 16?
15.
15. Okay.
Ashley's mom says that phone call with Bob Carter was the biggest lie she'd ever been told in her entire life. And we soon find out why.
And I feel bad for the mom, too, because you believe another adult. You believe another parent. Another parent of a child that your child's age, you think would be responsible. You think wouldn't be telling you a fucking lie.
Also, the status of the family of the Carters. Exactly. Why would they allow something terrible to happen? It would come back on them. So also, how do you say no to your kid like that? Your kid gets the opportunity to go to Florida, to the boats and the islands and the friends and the compound and the superstar and the money. And like, how do you say no?
Yeah, absolutely.
In this day and age, we know a little bit differently and know a little bit better, but like, you got talked to the dad on the phone. He said it would be fine. Okay, go try it out. You'll be with your friends.
This is why I don't want kids, man.
Reason number 99.
I'll never forget this. A coworker told me she has, or an ex-coworker, well, someone I used to work with in Seattle. She has 2 kids, and she's like, I will never let my kids spend a single night at anyone else's house.
Yeah, and I know like social workers and police people who have said the same thing, even family members. So Ashley goes to visit Angel in Florida at the compound, and night 1, it's just off the rails. It's like spring break every day, all the time, just pure fuckery.
Yep. They're just fucking off on the boats and
on the boats, on the things, and each kid has their own like area and house, and they're on the ocean and they're having parties.
Private beach.
Bob drinks with the kids, and the cousin of the Carters describes it as just lawlessness. It's the Wild West. It's Carter country, baby. Like, you could do whatever
and
you
it's
want.
Florida. And it's Florida. Oh my God.
In the 2000s.
Oh my God. Just
imagine. The first day Ashley gets there, Nick shows up with a bottle of 151, which, first off, why do we have to go that hard?
Bro, 150.
Just no.
Instant vomit right now.
Oh my stomach still hurts.
Yeah.
He's pouring shots. Ashley had never been drunk before. Nick was 23. Ashley was 15. They go out on the boat to have a little boat party, a little party on the boat. It's
fucked up and driving a boat.
It's Florida. It's just Florida.
That's what everyone does.
It's Florida. Nick essays and R's Ashley on the boat. They're doing the boat party. This is night 1, and he essays her and R's her on the boat. She says that she's insanely drunk. She like doesn't know what's happening. And a day before she's supposed to leave, Nick asks, "Let me talk to you." Takes her, talks to her, and makes her touch him sexually. And she was under the influence again because everyone's drinking and partying
He
there.
gives her like more alcohol, I think, when they get off the boat. I think they drink a little more.
It's constant. It's spring break. Like, it's insane. So she's under the influence. She goes to talk to him. He forces her to touch him sexually, and they again had sex. She goes back home. Angel calls again. Please come back. Please come back. And a couple months later.
This is when the parents were getting a divorce. So Angel really needed.
Yeah, it was like kind of, shit was pretty much going down, but then it was like a few weeks later, maybe a month or 2 later, she goes back because Angel really needed her friend. And this is where the essay number 3 occurs. And let's remember, she is 15, Nick is 23. And he does the whole boat situation again, takes her down to the cabin, essay and R's her there.
And this time, I think she even says, like, the first time, maybe, I think she was like, she even admits, like, the first time I was too drunk to really kind of know what was going on. And I couldn't, like, consciously tell him no. But the second time, she remembers being vocal about him, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. And also, you cannot consent because you're a child.
Yeah.
You're a child.
Well, and just because you're messed up and I don't say no doesn't mean that you can have sex with me.
At any age.
At any fucking age.
And then on top of it, what's it called? Power dynamic. And on top of it, you're a child. So there's no consent happening at all.
Yeah.
Furthermore, she, after the assault, is laying down and she hears laughing. He looks up and notices that there's like a skylight situation open out to the stars. And everyone's on the deck, all of 3 of his friends, laughing and watching this whole assault happen. Wonder if it was Tony.
That's bro though. For those for people to
Like, what?
I don't have the words. I don't have the words for somebody who's watching a 15-year-old get sexually assaulted. I'm sorry, you motherfuckers should also be in jail for underage whatever the fuck. Yeah, that's disgusting. Underage porn. You're literally engaging in underage porn.
Yeah.
Just because it's not being filmed.
Yeah.
You're watching it. You're watching a fucking sexual act.
Yeah, they're liable in some.
Disgusting. And they all kept their fucking mouth shut. The other disgusting part, they watched, and then they didn't fucking say a single word or back this girl up.
No,
they went
some
with
of
Nick.
his friends doubled down and said that never happened later on in these cases.
Tony, you motherfucker.
So we're at this part in the documentary with 3 people that came forward. We're seeing this darker side of Nick. Aaron is also coming into the chat as these situations are happening with Ashley.
Yeah.
He knows Ashley from back in Pennsylvania. They're closer in age, and he is kind of being there and a support system, saying, I know that this isn't okay, what my brother did to you, and like, I'm sorry that happened. And they really bonded, like, emotionally during her time at the Carter compound.
Yeah, because Aaron at this point was not, his relationship with Nick was starting to be tumultuous, right?
Yeah.
And I also, like, at this point too, she confides in Aaron too, because Angel starts being a bitch.
Yeah.
She goes, you're using me to get to my brother.
Yeah.
And so Ashley's like, okay, that wasn't me, and then you're gonna treat me like that. And then Aaron, he steps up and he becomes somebody that she can trust and confide in.
And he said that his relationship was strained with Nick because of very similar type of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And this brings us to layer 4 of the iceberg, which is the downfall of Aaron Carter. And back to the Carter's cousin, the gentleman in Pennsylvania, he states in the documentary that these kids were completely robbed of a normal childhood and a normal brother-to-brother relationship or brother-sister. And they were forced to be career-focused because they were the ones paying for everything for this family and this extravagant lifestyle.
Yeah. And Nick eventually financially separates.
He does. And that is a big factor in this whole entire downfall.
Yeah.
Because Jane Carter, the mother, saw the opportunity for her kids to be rich and famous, and as soon as Aaron was old enough, boom, boom, he's in the ring with Lou, signing his contracts, also making her money. Sold 1 million records by 10?
Yeah, by 10 years old.
She
She got really mad when Nick did that, and then when that happened, it became responsible. It became Aaron's responsibility.
Right. So Nick eventually cuts ties, like you were saying, and he goes out on his own. The pillow.
The fucking pillow,
the
dog.
ghost pillow. Forbid. What am I trying to say? He's not. His family isn't like a financial burden for him anymore. He's like adulting. He's doing his own thing, and this really, really sets up Jane. And Jane starts planting seeds into Aaron's head, saying, well, you're not as good as your brother, and do you think your brother would take a break from performing? Do you, like, always putting this competition. And Nick had no idea that, like, this was kind of being fed into Aaron's head. And when they saw each other, it went from, like, oh, my brother, I love you and I miss you so much, I'm so proud of you, to, like, you're my competition now. And it's directly because Jane put her negative Nancy shit in Aaron's head and started making Nick the bad guy and the villain.
Both parents. The dad said shit to him too. You'll never be as good as Nick. Like, you'll never make as much money as Nick. Oh, it's about money. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we also hear during this time, the divorce, the separation of Nick and Aaron, that Aaron started sneaking into his father's safe and stealing Xanax. And I don't fucking blame him. I need a fucking Xanax right now, just knowing about their fucking shit, you know? And I'm not even there.
Yeah.
He also starts huffing paint.
With his dad.
With father.
His fucking dad. Yeah. Crazy. Aerosol cans, huffing paint. And then the family friend that was around with Ashley.
Jen.
Yeah. She tells the mom, like, hey, you know, Aaron's doing this shit with Bob. And the mom goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
She doesn't. She knows.
Is he making any money still?
Yeah.
Cool. Don't care.
No.
Fucking crazy.
They treated these kids like employees. It was never loving. It was never mom and dad. And they really just were kind of workhorses. One of the biggest things that stood out in the documentary to me was Aaron's former manager tells a story about when Aaron got accepted to be on Broadway, and he was the lead in Seussical, the musical, and he was doing 6 shows a night.
Seussical, the musical?
Seussical, the musical. Yeah, like this Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, do you know I've been in a lot of musicals? I've been in Cats. I've been in Guys and Dolls. I've been in Snoopy the musical. I was Woodstock.
Oh my god.
The Little Bird. I was in Guys and Dolls. I was in one of the Shakespeare ones, whatever. Dude, like, I'm just a little theater bitch.
Oh my god, I love that for you.
Can't sing, but I can dance.
Okay.
So that's why I was Woodstock, because she doesn't talk.
speak.
She just looks cute and dances around.
Oh my god.
It's incredible.
Don't give Danny any singing parts.
No.
Just sing, just the dance.
I just, I'm good at what I'm good at. And
That's
what I got.
okay.
So he gets hired on Broadway as the lead. 6 shows a freaking week. That's not including rehearsals, fittings, the whole. Dude,
That's a lot.
are you fucking kidding me? The family promised, we're gonna go on a big vacation when you're finished up with the shows and blah blah blah. Aaron finds out one night after his shows that his family is already on the vacation. They said bye. God damn this fucking They just said, you just wrap it up and finish working. We'll just be over here on vacay.
You're having a good time.
He loses it. He snaps. This is the turning point. He grabs a knife. He's a child, first off. Where are your parents? Just out on vacay. Grabs a knife, put it to his head or his throat. His manager calms him down. His manager says that was like the scariest experience that I had working for them. And gets it out of his hand. The family does nothing. He talks on the phone to Nick. The family does not come and see him a single time in New York, and basically just says, okay, great, like, cool, thanks for letting us know.
Money, please.
Yeah, where's the, get back to work, son.
Okay. So after this vacation thing happens, I think Leslie dies shortly after, because that's when Nick like really starts to separate himself, because he meets his wife, Lauren, who's a total fucking twat as well. Lauren, fuck you, bitch, too. God damn, these fucking assholes. They start doing therapy together, though. Like, Nick and Lauren, he's just cleaning himself up. Just that, like,
Nice
look, I'm getting a wife. Yeah, he has kids now.
Brand friendly.
Yup. The sister dies, and Nick doesn't even go to the funeral.
And Aaron loses his fucking
His
mind.
shit.
Yeah.
And the family blames Nick, though, which is kind of fucked up.
The mom.
The mom blames Nick.
Jane blames Nick, saying, you had all this money, you could have helped her, da-da-da-da.
Why didn't you do anything for her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aaron, like, took that to heart, is what the documentary is saying. And from there, like, I don't really know what happened, so I'm going to pass it back to you.
So Aaron goes to rehab shortly after this happens, and, they're like, you should try to get your life together. And he's like, all right, goes to rehab. He actually gets sober for a while. He starts talking to Nick again. He meets his girlfriend Valentina at this time, which she's such a cutie, and starts spending more time with Nick and Angel. So he starts kind of getting his life back together, and things are looking...
Families kind of mending.
Looking a little better maybe. And then he goes on tour and relapses.
Yeah. And we're talking about Aaron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Aaron. And then after he relapses is when things start to get really scary.
Very dark.
Yes, very dark. He goes on Instagram with his guns.
He's live streaming every night.
Yeah, just going on these crazy rants, threatening to kill Nick, his wife, her kids. And as much as she's a cunt, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So this leads to the restraining orders that you talked about earlier. Nick and Angel ended up getting a restraining order against Aaron.
Right, and they said that it was pretty much the only thing that they could do to protect themselves and to actually get Aaron help. Because if there's nothing on paper, there's not really anything anyone can do, because he is an adult, and the whole world is like seeing him spiral. And he shows up, he's underweight, his face tatted, he's like, a victim of the Zandemic vibe, a SoundCloud rapper-esque, and he's portraying this villain of the Joker. that's still his Twitter profile picture. And during this time, he also speaks up against his brother.
And he stands with Melissa.
Yeah, He starts a relationship with Melissa, the first victim that we talked about. And they're texting and bonding, and she even goes on one of his Instagram lives, and he is like, I stand with you and I believe you. And there's also a time where he's on a live, and I think he was talking to Ashley publicly on Instagram Live, the girl who was that stayed on the boat, and he's screaming, Aaron's screaming, like, I know my brother were to jail. I know it.
And he tells Melissa too, I think during his live, before he does the live with Ashley, he's like, there's another girl.
Yeah.
So he starts to kind of, do all that. They get the restraining order. But then Aaron changes his little tune when he talks to Molly Go fucking Cuntley.
Yeah.
She does a live with him. And then he backtracks and says Melissa's a liar.
Right. But let's talk about Nick's wife donating money to that live streamer.
The other one, the YouTuber.
And he's got all these trolls coming after him. He's got the Nick people, the Nick super fans of the Backstreet Boys coming after him after he's saying that he's like, standing up for the survivors. He's got those people attacking him. He's got just regular internet trolls attacking him because now he's looking Little Peep-esque and just behaving erratically. And people really want to see his downfall. They are messing with him. They are basically stalking him and cyberbullying him, to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially this one individual that the private investigator, Aaron hired, was able to trace back to this one person where a lot of this shit was coming from.
And Melissa's dad.
What?
Yeah. Melissa's dad because the YouTuber was starting to bring her up again, and the dad was like, no. And I'm going to pull my hacker shit. We're done.
Yeah. So they trace it back and they really find out where these core people and trolls are. And during this time, Aaron's spending most of his money and effort and energy while dealing with his addiction to try and stop these people. And there's even video in the documentary of him crying, saying everyone is so fucking mean to me. And it's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
When does Nick's wife get involved with the trolling?
So before Nick's wife and before he hires the PI, he meets Melanie.
Nick's wife.
Nick's fiance, or Aaron's fiance, who got pregnant, who has the mother of his kid.
Okay.
So he meets her.
Aaron meets his fiance.
And then at first she's like, he was taking his meds normally at first, and then he starts to unravel. Yeah. And the unraveling is when the YouTuber comes. So that's kind of coinciding. So not only is he dealing with the YouTuber shit, all the normal people shit, his family shit, he's got a girl pregnant now.
Yeah.
And I think his manager even says he really shifted when she got pregnant, and he really became really focused at first on her pregnancy and being happy that he's gonna be a dad. And he really honed in on that for a little while until again, this motherfucking YouTuber starts scratching at his door hey buddy, do you miss me? And he starts, again, riling Aaron up, and then Aaron goes into another spiral.
Yeah.
And then the YouTuber...
he would do stuff mail him cans of aerosol, so because that was one of his drugs of choice, so that he would relapse.
Yeah.
Sick.
Disgusting. Oh my God. So, eventually, this motherfucker gets Nick's wife on the stream. Lauren Kit Carter. This fucking hoe-ass bitch. Goes on this YouTuber stream talking mad shit about Aaron, gives a fucking donation to this YouTuber, and then that's it. Just a quick one, and hey, we're gonna talk some shit, here's some money, bye. It's and it's if you have a restraining order on somebody, how is it not illegal or going against the restraining order when you're sitting there egging the person? You're feeding this person, you're egging them on, you're harassing this person. Bitch, I'm gonna file a restraining order against you.
Right.
The fuck?
Awful.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up. You've done enough. You and your fucking shitty husband, go away.
Yeah. So during this whole time, his fiance is pregnant. They have the baby. They're still dealing with all of this, and they just can't really get it together. The cops are being called from him. He's calling them. She's calling them, and they lose custody of the baby. The baby is months old, weeks old, just
9 months.
Yeah, they lose custody, and this is really the demise of Aaron.
Yeah, I really think that's kind of the
end all.
Yeah. And the court wanted him to get sober before they even thought about giving back the kid.
Yeah. Which is fair and
Yeah.
valid and should have happened.
The kid went to her mom, so it's not like the kid was just put in foster care and just crazy shit. I mean, it went to somebody that was trustworthy at least, and someone that could take care of the baby.
Why they got their shit together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, they didn't have that opportunity because Aaron was found deceased. He was 34 years old, overdosed in a bathtub in his home.
Yeah.
And
he kicked Melanie out really shortly before that happened too.
yeah. It almost like he knew.
Knew.
Yeah. It's awful. And we do hear from Melanie, and we do see pictures of the baby, and oh my god.
Cutie.
Just a replica.
I know.
You know? And his name is Prince.
So cute.
Adorable. So, we do see footage of Nick on tour a little bit after Aaron's death, and they're doing a tribute memorial, and he's breaking down crying, and it's heartbreaking, and it's the whole drama, and
Okay.
lucky for Nick, he's still alive and living and just
touring.
My friends, we are at the final layer of the iceberg, and this was news to me. I think to a lot of us.
This shit is fucking crazy.
The very last episode and the very end of our iceberg into the deepest, darkest depths of this Carter catastrophe, we hear from a new victim.
Yeah. Her name is Shay. She was 13 years old at the time. She was diagnosed autistic and she has cerebral palsy. Nick forced her to...
She goes to... Her friend invites her to see the Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
At the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah, where I was just at. I was like, oh, hey.
I know that.
I know that.
They go to the concert. And this girl she has autism. She's doesn't really have many friends. She likes to read books. So this is a whole new experience.
Yeah,
right?
Music was her escape.
She loved music, loved the Backstreet Boys. They're waiting, her and her friend are waiting outside of the tour bus after the concert to get an autograph or just to see them or, the whole thing that the people... Nick walks out and says, hey, you, I'll give you a tour of the tour bus. Gives her some cranberry juice. She says, this tastes a little bit funny. She's like, I've never had alcohol. I knew it was...
Just
and
not
he said it's VIP juice. Drink it. She starts feeling nauseous. Takes her to the bathroom. Do we see a pattern here?
Very interesting.
He forces her to perform acts on him. He forces himself performing acts on her. And eventually takes her into the back bedroom of the tour bus and does the entire full attack and R-word on this young girl with disabilities. And after the event, she says, I'm going to tell everyone what happened. He gets violent. He yells at her. And
he calls her a R-word bitch.
She's stupid, R-worded bitch. No one will fucking believe you anyways.
And she'll go to jail if she says anything.
Yeah.
If that's not control, if that's not manipulation, if that's not...
The worst of the worst.
Disgusting.
And it shows intent in that he knew what he was doing and knew that she had disabilities because he used that slur to insult her and demean her. So for him to claim, oh, I didn't know that she had a developmental disability, which he doesn't claim that at all. He claims that never happened and I don't know her. that shows that he knew. Out of that group of people that he picked somebody, he picked the one that he knew was weak, vulnerable, probably easy to manipulate, and that had a disability. That proved it right there.
Mm-hmm. Disgusting. It's crazy.
It doesn't get worse. It doesn't. You can't go any lower. The fuck is wrong with you? The documentary stated that 83% of women with mental disabilities will be essayed.
That's disgusting.
83%,
That's
dude.
disgusting.
And this victim, Shay, she talks about, I need to speak up for people who don't have voice. There's a lot of people with autism who are nonverbal, who literally can't speak up for themselves.
And sometimes people with cerebral palsy don't have the ability, like sometimes they lose motor functions and stuff, and they don't have the ability either.
Yeah, that is just alarming on the sickest level. 83% of women with disabilities will be assaulted. What a fucking sick.
I don't even know.
I know, I'm like, it's not registered.
When I heard that, I was like, no fucking way.
Well, what is it, 1 in 3 women? It's too frequent, okay? Comes forward, there's a lot of claims that Melissa, actually, the first victim, coached this girl into saying what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Nick actually countersues Melissa for $2.3 million.
Yep.
They go to court.
Because what triggered that though was he filed the claim because like they were supposed to run like some Christmas special or something on ABC, which is owned by Disney, and they took it off the air amid all these sexual allegations.
Yeah, because of the allegations and because of Shay coming forward and saying this is what happened.
And he's like, now you're costing me money, so that's
right.
why and I think he's suing for like defamation and some conspiracy.
Right, against, because she's worked with all these other victims and they're basically alleging that Melissa coerced Shay into saying X, Y, and Z happened to her.
They're alleging that it's a 5-year conspiracy. 5 years. That they've been cooking it up and so he actually files against Shay, so the autistic girl, he files against Melissa and her dad.
Yeah.
Are all 3 included in that suit?
Yeah, and they go to court and try to get it dismissed, saying like, this isn't a conspiracy, these are just our experiences, and the judge says, no, we can actually move forward with the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
And then Ashley, she comes out eventually and she files a claim against Nick as well. So we have Shay, Melissa, and Ashley who have all filed claims as of 2024 against Nick. During the court, though, this is when Tony comes back into play. The judge is allowing this countersuit because of literally, I'm pretty sure, just the one thing that his friend said. And his friend goes, I was there.
And this is going back to the first allegation with Melissa. When they went to this apartment to listen to the music, and her friend was there, and Melissa, and then went to the office to listen to music. Tony says,
No, I was there. Nothing ever happened. I was there the whole time. Okay, Tony.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Tony.
You better be making some good ass money. Dumb bitch.
Yeah. So where do we stand today? What's going on in the courts today? What's going on? He's still touring.
He did start a tour last year, 2023. He went on tour. He toured 60 cities.
What's his name? The name All About Me or something?
Some bullshit, bro. I was so me. I don't fucking know.
60 cities.
60. So all these cases are still pending as of 2024. I just actually did a Google search too, just to see if the documentary was maybe a little off.
Behind or whatever, yeah.
Nope, they're all still pending.
And his countersuits against them are
all
also
pending.
How do you victimize somebody, change their life, ruin them, take away their innocence, and then sue them?
It's giving Yoron.
For $2.3 million. It's giving Yoron.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Psycho. Pathological.
Pathological fucking liar, dude. And then him and his team are now saying too that they have a mountain of evidence proving that this is a conspiracy and none of it is real. And all these women are making it up.
Also in court, Melissa the first victim, who disclosed the R and SA to her manager. The manager in court says, oh no, she actually never disclosed that to me. Just piles and piles of shit.
Just lies, dude.
And it's this industry. It's the entertainment industry, it's the power, it's the money, it's the image. Because if this one person goes down, a lot of people go down with him, meaning they don't have jobs anymore. Their credibility is shot. Their cash cow is not no more cash, right? So that's why these guys get so much protection, because they're making money. 60 fucking cities after these 3 allegations have been completely public. And then the full-on super fans and supporters threatening lives. Like, come on.
You don't know him.
He would never do something like that.
I think I know him because he was literally R-ing me.
He was literally
think I know.
inside of me.
Think I know.
Right.
Better than you that have been admiring him from a fucking TV screen and whatever the fuck you're doing.
Right. The saddest part for me is that Aaron stood up for these victims. He put himself out there to public harassment and put up with all of that to give these women a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Molly goes suck my fucking dick, wants to come in and manipulate him and have him recount that. And I don't think any of the victims hold that against Aaron at all.
No, because Melissa, even at the end, she's like, I seriously, even after all of that, like it was a slap in the face, but Aaron was one of the only people that believed me and reached out to me.
Yeah.
Just like Ashley.
And Ashley, even back when they were 15, right? Like, he was there for her. And then as an adult was too, right? Like, I don't think they hold it against him at all.
No.
It's too much. Anywho.
Lawless.
That's the iceberg. That is the iceberg that is sinking the Carter legacy. Unfortunately, we lost Aaron, who seemed like a very pure soul. Who
broken.
Yeah,
he was just broken.
Exploited through this industry by his parents, manipulated by his brother, bullied by his brother too, and then stands up and does the right thing and faces more harassment. It's tragic.
And when something like that is happening to someone like Aaron Carter, we just like make it a joke or like a spectacle, and it's disgusting.
Entertainment.
But if me and you did something like that, we're getting the cops called on us. We're getting a fucking 7-day stay in a psych institution.
Yeah.
Make it make fucking sense.
Well, I feel like half the time too, and this is gonna be the end of our rant. Half the time too, they're put in these positions to have these reactions for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, more money.
They're like the monkeys in the ring or whatever, you know, like the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fed these things to have these reactions and these outbursts and these different scandals because that's what sells the tabloids.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I think we got it all.
I think we did.
We got the whole
all
iceberg.
the sad fucking shit.
We're on the way to the submersible as we speak.
We're sinking.
We're going.
Molly Brown, we're sinking.
We're going.
The unsinkable Molly Brown. She going down.
Molly Lightly?
Yeah. There you go, Molly Lightly.
Who?
You have a special place in hell, baby girl.
You were
like one more thing about her.
One-way ticket to the submersible under the sea.
One more thing about her though.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's
Let's
just so
go this
fucking
far.
horrible.
From this far.
Like I hope she gets into a car accident and she only has the use of her eyeballs and she can't talk. She's just gotta lay there for the rest of her life and just look. You nasty bitch.
I don't know how you came up with that, but I also agree.
I might be a little deranged myself.
On that note, it is 9 p.m. and it is time to shut down this operation. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Is Giving Sus. Please subscribe if you haven't done so yet. If you are listening on Spotify, we also love you, but come on over to YouTube, subscribe, it's free, and see our beautiful faces and live reactions. Until next time, we'll be, anyways, until next time, stay curious and stay skeptical. Thanks for watching.
Bye.